you very much. The Rural Independent Group of TDs fully support this motion. We were the first political grouping in the Dáil to call on the government to hold an emergency mini-budget when we moved a private member's business motion back on the 23rd of February 2022. We also moved a P&B motion in April calling for the government to axe the carbon tax, which would have the impact of putting about 8,000 directly in every person's pocket between now and 2030. And last month we called on the Finance Minister to cut all fuel and energy taxes until the end of 2022. Perhaps worst of all, your government's crippling carbon tax, the one ye hiked again on May the 1st, was specifically designed by Fianna Fáil and the Greens the last time they shared power together to make petrol, diesel and all available energy products much more expensive. We are seeing the biting impacts of this now, Minister. At the time, the government voted our proposal down, despite our motion calling on the government to recognise the cost of living crisis as a national emergency. If the government had listened back then, the people would not be suffering the crippling financial pain that we are all experiencing today. We sought the introduction of a comprehensive and robust package of measures intended to support those less well-off and impacted sectors via allocating of financial aid and slashing energy consumption taxes. However, the government do not have a monopoly on good ideas, and they must urgently remove their heads from the sand dunes and re-enter the real world. An emergency or mini-budget to mitigate the spiralling cost of living crisis on multiple fronts is now long overdue. And what I will say, Ministers, and I presume you have the same in your own constituency, but maybe you're not as rural as mine, I find fishermen, farmers coming to me in a desperate situation. Fishermen have parked their boats up by the pier because of the cost of fuel. I said that to the Taoiseach today, but he couldn't, I don't know, he seems like he's in a different language to me because he didn't understand what I was talking about. It's quite plain to hear. And the same with the farmers. They're in a desperate situation. Farm contractors are talking about €1 more on their green diesel from what they paid last year. You have them in a desperate situation, Minister, and you have to do something here. If you don't, you're going to cripple the country and grind it to a halt. Common sense tells everybody that, but it doesn't seem to focus in this government. Common sense does no longer apply when it comes to your government. You're slightly removed from the reality of the day, and you will have to come back and understand the suffering people are going through. Thank you.